In Broome County, an Endicott man has been convicted on multiple charges and is now facing years behind bars. In April of last year, the Broome County Special Investigations Unit executed a search warrant on apartment 2 at 700 North Street in Endicott, where 50-year-old Damian High was located. High was found to be in possession of over 50 grams of cocaine and a digital scale. This past February, High was found sleeping under a bridge. After being concerned about his level of intoxication, officers determined he was unable to care for himself. Police detained him, and during a search, they found him to be in possession of 19 wrapped bags of cocaine. High was found guilty of 4 counts of criminal possession of a controlled substance and 1 count of criminally using drug paraphernalia. High is facing 24 years in New York State prison and 6 years of post-supervised release. His sentencing is scheduled for December 16th.